So many, it's guys that can't come out because of their image. You know what I'm saying? That'll make your eyes go.
Because my next guest just testified before a federal grand jury. He says he was in possession of a trove of digital evidence from Diddy's freak-offs and parties.
The entertainment industry often operates behind a veil of glamour and fame, but as we've seen time and again, there's a darker side lurking just beneath the surface. Freddie P., a former member of Diddy's Making the Band 2 group, has recently pulled back that curtain, revealing jaw-dropping details about his time under the influence of one of the most powerful figures in the music business.
That's my type of party, man. Just stay to yourself, mind your business. I'm not even looking at you, nasty bitch. Like, I'm just like, I know y'all not looking at me. You get what I'm saying? At that time, man, you just happy to smoke, man, in privacy, man. We were just happy to get away from everybody and get our yeah. Like, when I hear stuff about Puffy right now, I'm like, yo, how far this nigga came, because
Shared paints a disturbing picture of a world where boundaries are blurred and power dynamics go beyond what you might expect from a typical party scene. Freddie P. has always been vocal about his experiences with Diddy, but his recent interviews have taken things to a whole new level. He's now sharing revelations that will leave you questioning the very nature of loyalty, success, and manipulation in the entertainment industry. This isn't your typical behind-the-scenes gossip. These are stories of intimidation, exploitation, and uncomfortable encounters that paint Diddy in a light many may.
My guy, Freddie P, man. Let's get right into it. Diddy, he got indicted. How you feel about that?
It was a surprise to me, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
May find hard to believe. At one point, Freddie found himself at one of Diddy's notorious parties, a gathering that was anything but ordinary. According to Freddie, these events were extravagant, filled with music, excess, and a seemingly endless stream of indulgence. But underneath the flashy surface, Freddie describes an unsettling atmosphere where power was not just a game, but a tool for control. He recalls Diddy making him a proposition, one that Freddie describes as deeply uncomfortable, a favor in exchange for significant financial reward. Freddie hasn't gone into specifics about what this favor entailed, but he made it clear it was something that made him question everything about the industry he had worked so hard to be a part of. The proposition was just the beginning of Freddie's growing disillusionment. Over time, he began to feel more and more like a pawn in a game controlled by Diddy's larger-than-life persona. Freddie has talked about seeing behavior that crossed the line from professional to inappropriate.
Did in fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature.
Freddie's reaction? He turned.
Diddy was allegedly known to invade personal space, make comments that were anything but professional, and create an atmosphere where saying no wasn't an option. Despite the pressure, Freddie eventually made the difficult decision to walk away. He realized that the cost of staying could be more than just a compromised career. It could mean compromising his values and his sense of self. In his own words, walking away from Diddy meant leaving the dream behind, but it also meant preserving his integrity. But Freddie isn't the only one speaking out. His revelations have sparked a wider conversation about a culture of manipulation, control, and exploitation within the music industry, and many are beginning to see his experiences as part of a larger, more troubling pattern. Diddy, known for his iconic business empire, has always projected an image.
Me and you did so many interviews, I never got to ask you, have you ever been to a freak-off?
No. But what I can say, but I don't know, because I don't know what the freak out look like, right? Right? Is it in a private house? Is it in a party or club? Because I've been to clubs where I walked in and people was doing and it was on behalf of Bad Boy.
Of success. But Freddie's story and the increasing number of allegations coming to light seem to reveal a different side of the mogul. As more details unfold, it's hard not to ask, could the extravagant parties, the promises of fame and fortune, be part of a much darker agenda? Freddie's experience has led to more people coming forward, with some alleging that they too were subjected to similar behaviors, behavior that manipulates, coerces, and pressures people into participating in activities they didn't want. While Freddie's account has been met with both support and skepticism, it's impossible to ignore the broader implications of his story. He's forcing us to look closely at the power structures that allow these dynamics to thrive, and the question remains, how many other artists, producers, and individuals have...
But the way the club is, I can't lie. I'd rather say I always tell people, the reason I remember this night so well because this is how I prefer to party. Like I went in there, was swinging from the all over the place. It's people getting on. It's people like everybody in their own fucking world, right?
Fred suffered in silence for fear of losing everything. As more details continue to emerge, it's becoming increasingly clear that the truth is far from simple, and Diddy's carefully curated public image is beginning to crack. Freddie has been candid about his personal struggles, but has stood firm in sharing the truth. He's not just speaking out about his own experience, but about a wider culture in the entertainment industry that seems to thrive on power, influence, and control. And with the ongoing legal battles surrounding Diddy, ranging from accusations of misconduct to more alarming allegations about coercive gatherings, this isn't just a personal story. It's a reckoning for the industry as a whole. And a shocking twist. Diddy's recent legal troubles have taken center stage, with serious charges being levied against him. Prosecutors are claiming that the mogul orchestrated a network of freak-offs, gatherings where participants.
So that's the one time I could probably say I walked into a crazy party. But we came through the back door and it was a big ass club. Like, it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like some real freaky gothic shit. It was like some like I like though, because I like privacy. I like to party, but I want to be private. I don't want to be looked at. I don't want to have to watch you niggas all night. And
allegedly felt coerced into uncomfortable or even abusive situations. According to multiple sources, these events were more than just lavish parties. They were about control, manipulation, and maintaining a facade of power. Some participants were allegedly flown in with promises of career opportunities or financial gain, only to find themselves in situations that left them powerless. Adding fuel to the fire are stories of intimidation, threats, and violence alleged.
What was Puffy doing at the party?
Oh, that had done disappeared. He had like his own little section though. Like it was like me, Jadakiss. It was D Block, I think. All us is over here smoking, gambling and shit. I think. It was like white girls here, and it was like some fucking right here. Hard on scissoring, like white girls though.
Freddie's used to ensure silence. The accusations have prompted renewed scrutiny, with some even drawing comparisons between Diddy's alleged behavior and notorious figures like Jeffrey Epstein. While these comparisons remain highly controversial, they highlight the severity of the situation and the growing distrust surrounding Diddy's empire. Among the many troubling allegations is the leaked footage from a 2016 hotel altercation between Diddy and his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. The footage, which shows a violent confrontation, added more weight to the claims of abusive behavior. Diddy publicly acknowledged the incident, but the damage to his reputation had already been done. His history of troubling behavior, combined with new revelations from former associates and employees, has created a storm that's impossible to ignore, but Diddy's troubles don't end there. Over the past year, numerous lawsuits have been filed against him, with plaintiffs from all corners of his world, former business partners, artists, models, accusing him of similar patterns of manipulation and abuse.
You see the like, you feel me? Like that type of party, like they don't hide it. They like everybody having fun. Everything was just fun. So I don't know if it was freak off or what.
As Freddie.
One such lawsuit involves a former producer who alleges that Diddy pressured him into compromising situations for the sake of career advancement. Another claims that Diddy created a culture where saying no was never an option, and saying the wrong thing could cost you your job, your reputation, or worse. The allegations paint a chilling picture, and many are starting to question just how much Diddy's empire has been built on power and fear, rather than talent and hard work. The investigation into Diddy's actions has uncovered mountains of evidence, including witness testimonies, encrypted messages, and financial transactions that could shed light on the full scope of the allegations. Despite Diddy's denials, The growing body of evidence suggests that there may be more to this story than many realize. As the public's fascination with the case grows, so too does the scrutiny surrounding Diddy's career and the way power has been wielded in the music industry for years. For many, Freddie's story is just the tip of the iceberg, and as the investigation continues, we may learn even more disturbing details about one of the most influential figures in modern music. In the end, Freddie's decision to speak out has forced us all to take a closer look, not just at Diddy, but at the system that allows this kind of power imbalance to persist. The reckoning may have only just begun, and it's clear that the truth, however dark it may be, will continue to surface. What we're witnessing is not just the unraveling of one man's empire, but a long overdue look at the way fame, success, and influence can be used to manipulate and control. The questions raised by Freddie's story are far from over, and as more voices are heard, the answers may be even more shocking than we ever imagined.
They describe it as if it was like in a house. No, it was a club, back doors, security, like presidential level entry. Like the line was over here, we over here, coming through the back alley like on some New York PD TV that I grew up watching on. Like I was like, yo, I see this on TV.
Freddie P., a former member of Diddy's group Da Band from the reality series Making the Band 2, has recently revealed unsettling details about his time in Diddy's orbit. During his time in Diddy's world, Freddie witnessed and personally encountered things that raised serious questions about the true nature of success, loyalty, and manipulation in the entertainment industry. One of the most shocking revelations from Freddie's interviews involves a bizarre encounter at one of Diddy's infamous parties, which he describes as lavish and unsettling. At one of these gatherings, Freddie claims Diddy made an unsettling proposition, offering him money in exchange for a favor. Although Freddie hasn't been explicit about what that favor entailed, he made it clear that it was something that left him feeling uncomfortable and cornered. He turned Diddy down, even though it meant risking his place in the group and his career. As Freddie continued to speak out about
monitoring another push to free Sean Diddy Combs tonight, with his legal team citing new evidence in an updated bail proposal. The music mogul agreeing to around-the-clock security and cutting out contact with basically anyone but his legal team to get out of jail ahead of his trial scheduled for May of next year for charges he allegedly coerced and abused women for years.
About his experiences, he painted a picture of an environment where boundaries were non-existent and excessive behaviors, both sexual and emotional, were normalized. He recalls moments where Diddy's actions and comments made him feel targeted, revealing a darker side to the industry's power dynamics. What makes Freddie's account particularly powerful is how it contrasts with the public persona of Diddy, the successful mogul known for his business acumen, charisma, and larger-than-life image.
Still pretty early in the proceedings. I think it's only been about a month or a month and a half since he's been arraigned and held in detention. And so the investigations are always going to be a continuous and ongoing process. I'm sure at this point there's been an exchange of discovery. And not only that, but I think there's been a gag order placed on the attorneys with information that they can and cannot share. But more importantly,
Freddie's story has added fuel to long-standing rumors and allegations about Diddy's manipulation and exploitation of those around him, particularly when they are most vulnerable. In addition to Freddie's testimony, Diddy has been facing multiple lawsuits and legal challenges. Most notably, he was indicted on serious charges involving coercion and abuse, which allegedly include orchestrating freak-offs, gatherings where people were allegedly manipulated into participating in illicit activities. These events are said to be designed to cater to Diddy's whims, and those who didn't comply face serious repercussions, including threats and violence. As more stories come to light, including disturbing details about past altercations, the public is beginning to reassess the true nature of Diddy's empire. While some continue to defend Diddy, others believe that Freddie's account...
Everybody familiar with the old Houdini? So what Diddy's lawyers are trying to do is pull a Houdini. They're trying to say that the evidence that they have is different. Well, it's not different. The video that the entire world has seen is not going to go away. The fact that he had parties that were freak-offs, is not going away. So it's just a question of whether or not Diddy is able to make bond.
But this account is only the beginning of a larger, more disturbing truth. Many now believe the case represents not just one man's downfall, but a reckoning for the entire entertainment industry, one where power dynamics and toxic cultures are being exposed like never before. This evolving narrative is causing people to question the cost of fame and the price of success, as well as what happens when the lines between loyalty, manipulation, and personal integrity blur in such high-stakes environments. Freddie P's bravery in speaking out has forced many to take a hard look at the darker side of the entertainment world, one that most of us may never fully understand. The investigation is ongoing, and as more revelations come to light, the world is paying close attention to what might be the unraveling of a decades-long empire built on more than just music and business. Let me know if you'd like more revisions or further details.
Everyone keeps saying to me, like, how did you keep, why did you keep going? Why were you there? I'm like, it literally is around me. If I don't stay at home, this is the atmosphere I'm in. Like, I have no choice.
Freddie P, a former member of Diddy's group making the band 2, has recently made some serious claims about his time in Diddy's orbit. These revelations have shed light on a world most people would find shocking, even surreal. Freddie is not just some random person speaking out. He was handpicked by Diddy, thrust into the limelight of his empire, and for a moment, living the dream.
Dominant.
But things quickly took a dark turn. Freddie's latest interviews have detailed some disturbing experiences, particularly one night at one of Diddy's infamous parties that left him questioning everything. Picture this. A lavish gathering, seemingly full of glitz and glamour, but with an underlying atmosphere that Freddie described one of the most as unsettling. It's the kind of party where anything could happen, and some things, according to Freddie, shouldn't have. The heart of Freddie's story is a shocking moment when Diddy allegedly approached him and offered him a large sum of money in exchange for a favor. Freddie has been careful not to go into specifics, but he has made it clear that the offer left him feeling deeply uncomfortable. He turned it down even if it meant risking his career. Freddie describes this moment as the turning point, where he realized that the industry was more about...
if you say the wrong thing, or you complain, or I don't know, there's an element where you're just, I guess, manipulated in a way to make you feel like, oh, you have to please everyone around you. You can't say anything wrong. You don't want to say a bad thing, or when they're constantly asking, would you like to do drugs? And you're like, well, I don't do drugs. And they're like, well, why don't you do drugs?
What about navigating power dynamics than about talent and hard work? According to Freddie, Diddy's parties weren't your average Hollywood gatherings. Boundaries seemed to evaporate, and behavior that most would deem unacceptable became the norm. He witnessed firsthand how the people at the top could manipulate and control those below them. Freddie, however, chose to distance himself from Diddy, even if it meant walking away from the very career he had worked so hard to build. But Freddie's account goes further than just his personal experience. He's opened the door to a larger conversation about Diddy's behavior, which he claims is part of a pattern of exploitation and manipulation. Freddie has hinted at a history where Diddy preyed on those most vulnerable, using his immense influence to coax people into uncomfortable situations. Freddie's willingness to speak out has encouraged others to share their own stories, painting a troubling picture of the power dynamics at play behind the scenes in the entertainment industry. Diddy, on the other hand, has built a public persona as a business mogul and a larger-than-life figure. He's known for his...
I don't know the consequences of what that could have been. So I didn't really talk about it. I should have gone to the police. I should have said something other than to my agent. I'm just thankful that there was somebody there. There was somebody at that party who helped me, because I could have ended up in a really bad situation.
As we look at success in shaping the careers of some of the biggest stars in music and for turning anything he touches into gold. But Freddie's story gives us a much darker view of the man behind the empire, a man who allegedly used his power for control and manipulation. Freddie's story is not just about him, it's part of a larger, darker narrative surrounding Diddy. Just as Freddie's testimony painted a disturbing picture, legal proceedings have begun to shine a brighter light on Diddy's actions. Diddy's recent arrest facing serious charges of coercion and abuse, has shaken the industry. Allegations point to years of misconduct, with freak-offs, elaborate parties allegedly designed to control and exploit, being one of the key elements of the charges. Participants were allegedly flown in with promises of career opportunities or financial incentives, only to find themselves in deeply uncomfortable situations once they arrived. As the investigation continues, authorities have gathered mounting evidence, including testimonies, digital records, and possibly even surveillance footage. One of the most controversial pieces of evidence that has emerged is a video from a Los Angeles hotel in 2016 showing Diddy allegedly involved in a violent altercation with his former partner, Cassie Ventura. This footage, alongside the growing number of lawsuits and allegations, paints a chilling portrait of someone who used his power to control and intimidate. The claims against Diddy are disturbing and have sparked widespread conversations about the nature of fame, power, and manipulation within the entertainment industry. From former employees to artists who once saw Diddy as a mentor, the common thread among these
he was using, allegedly, these events to invite them back to these private mansion parties and hotel parties and God knows what else. But he was utilizing the branded events to be able to, get the girls to come over to his private spaces.
As we wait,
stories is that Diddy allegedly created an environment where no wasn't an option, and compliance often came with a steep personal cost. One of the most unsettling comparisons is being drawn between Diddy and other infamous figures like Jeffrey Epstein, with some accusing Diddy of using his influence in similar ways. While these comparisons remain controversial, they speak to the growing concerns about Diddy's behavior and his role in perpetuating a culture of exploitation. As the case continues to unfold, the public and the industry at large are beginning to question everything they thought they knew about Diddy. His legacy, once untouchable, is now being re-examined through the lens of these allegations. Some are quick to condemn, while others are calling for patience and due process. Diddy's world is starting to crack under the weight of these revelations. As lawsuits continue to surface and investigations grow more intense, we're left wondering, is this the unraveling of an empire, or is there more to the story than we know? The conversation is just getting started, and Freddie's decision to speak out has forced us to look closer at the entertainment industry and the culture that allowed this to happen. With each new revelation, the spotlight grows brighter, casting a long shadow over Diddy's empire and legacy. And as more details emerge, it's clear that this is only the beginning of a much bigger story.